Friday and we're just in one of those moods. You know, on Friday you just snuggle up on the sofa and you say goodbye to all your worries and your troubles, you see. And tonight's
tonight's an extra special snuggle up on the sofa night because Graham Norton's back with a brand new series. He is. He's got all those lovely celebrities.
That'll be me in bed early tonight, Ben.
It sounds good, doesn't it?
It sounds excellent.
It sounds very good. Don't forget to miss it. Here we go.
I nearly nodded off then.
Can we have some music, please? Come on, let me. I feel like we shouldn't ask any questions. We'll just sit here and look at him for a while. And I opened rainbow cameras. Woohoo. Lady. That doesn't sound like a satisfied woman.
Oh, I'm in it.
Oh, you're in? Oh, I'm in. Oh my gosh!
I'm not gonna lie, that was surprising. And the stars just keep coming and coming. Who have you got on tonight?
Tonight's a good one. We've got Harrison Ford.
Oh, stop right there. But he doesn't talk. I've heard notoriously he's very shy and reticent.
I don't think being on chat shows is his favourite thing in the world, but he had quite a nice time because he enjoyed Jack Whitehall and Benedict Cumberbatch and James Blunt. They're all on the show as well.
And you would have recorded this last night?
Actually, this week we did it on a Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
There he is, the
very good
man himself.
He's a legend, though, isn't he? He's great.
I mean, because you forget how many films he's been in. You know, because you always remember Star Wars and Indiana Jones.
Blade Runner.
But Blade Runner, Working Girl, Mosquito Coast, loads of them.
But it must scare you when people say, I've heard he's quite tricky, I've heard this and heard that.
You do worry, because, you know, you want it to be a good show and you want it to go well. But you kind of think, there's another one next week. And hopefully you've got... Well, no, hopefully... And you kind of think, hopefully you've got a bit in the bank, so people will forgive you if your show's a bit of a dud. But Harrison Ford actually really joined in and was good.
But I think that's the beauty, because you get them all together, and I love that, the different kind of types of celebrity and guests that you have, that you're not all sure they'll mix, and then they do, and they surprise you often. Yeah,
even if they don't, at least that, in a way, it's revealing. It's more revealing than asking questions, in a way, to see how they react to other things.
You give up on that, really, asking. Well, you took the art of the talk show and the chat show, and they gave it to you all those years ago, and what did you decide to do with it to make it different?
Well, that I don't know. In my mind, you know, in interviews, you know, because people are so media trained now, if you ask them the tough questions about blah blah blah, they're not going to answer you. They're not going to suddenly tell you. Why are they going to tell you?
That's all Grail.
Yeah. So I kind of tend to ask the easy questions, and I think that they are revealed in how they react to things, and what they like, what they don't like, what they find funny, what pleases them, what doesn't please them. And you do, in the end, I think by the end of our show, you have learnt something about the people on the sofa.
You know what I find very funny, because I love the red chair. And the Americans, quite a lot of the Americans are quite uncomfortable, aren't they? I think it's our kind of sense of humour. We love that. Like, way off they go. Some of the Americans are a bit kind of, I can't believe he's doing that.
Well, I think that's because they live in an, a suing culture. Because that is a lawsuit waiting to happen, that red chair. So I think that's what amazes them.
But also,
really?
It gives the audience power as well, that aspect of the programme. And they're very important to you, aren't they, the audience?
Oh, no, the audience are great. They are kind of, they're always the extra guest or the extra host, in a way, there. And we use them as much as we can.
And abuse them sometimes.
Well, we abuse them a little. But I think the other thing about the audience is that most of the people on the show, whoever they are, they're performers. So they all have a kind of wanting to be liked gene. So once there's 600 people sat there, no matter how much they hate me, no matter how much they hate the whole show, they have to keep it up a bit.
Well, tell us about you, because you see, on screen you've got this lovely persona. You're quite a hyper person on screen. Are you hyper in real life as well? Do you keep that up throughout day-to-day life?
I'm hyper when I need to be hyper. You know, I don't open the fridge in a hyper way. I just, you know, because it's a really expensive fridge, it's a heavy door. And, but, you know, I think it's like everyone. You know, we all have ways of being when you need to be. We all have our telephone voice. We all have our picking our nose, watching telly. So, yeah.
See, a lot of people won't know this about you, but... You know, I'm sure you're very glad to be here, very glad to do it all, because if I bring you back to 1988, you're walking through a park and you're mugged. Not only are you mugged, you get a knife in the chest. I mean, in our business, we're used to getting a knife in the back. I mean, how serious was this?
It was, listen, it was very serious. It was a mugging. I didn't even realise I'd been stabbed in that classic way, because your adrenaline's pumping. It wasn't until I looked down and I saw all this blood and I realised I had. And I lost a bit over half my blood. So it was very touch and go, I think.
Who found you?
This really lovely old couple, because I was just on the street kind of going help, and I rang a few doorbells and nobody, and then this couple opened their door, and I remember I lay on their doorstep and sort of held this old lady's hand while they called the police. And listen, nothing like that's good. It's a terrible thing to have happened, and you know, if I was to live again it wouldn't have happened. But you did come away, having survived, with a real kind of perspective on things. You know, it did. Yeah, I was in my final year at drama school, and you know, the casting and people wanted to be seen by agents. There was a lot of door slamming and running into toilets crying, and I was kind of like, yeah, you're alive, shut up. And it was kind of it was good for me.
Well, don't you shut up, whatever you do. And this is series 14 for you tonight. Incredible. And that's tonight 10:35 on BBC One. Have you had a favourite guest to date?
Oh, I mean, lots of them are favourites. We've got to do a special kind of shout out to Will Smith, because last season he did this amazing kind of Fresh Prince reunion, which was nuts. Like, the audience just, I've never heard a noise like it. It was just a wall of screaming.
Well, keep it up, my friend. Very good talking to you.
Thank you.
Say goodbye to Graham. 10:35 BBC One tonight. Here's a little taster of what's on Mondays this morning.